Welcome back, everyone, to Pillars of Eternity. I was gonna go do some enchanting, but I appear to have been accosted by some ghosts.
You're in the wrong city, Inquisitor. Did you think you wouldn't be recognized here in your old home? I've seen your trials with my own eyes.
I have seen you light pyres with good people tied to them. People I'd known many a year. He seizes you by the throat and your airways tighten. Whether real or imagined, you cannot tell. They deserve your confession.
Suros, what are you doing?
Startled, the soldier releases you immediately and turns to face the speaker, a woman in a plain wool tunic. Fully a head shorter than he, but somehow seeming to tower over him. You've seen this woman's face before, but from afar, bloodied and burned as she lay stretched across an iron wheel.
An assassin sent by the Inquisition, my lady, daring to approach our camp.
If she is so poor an assassin as to approach an armed guard in daylight, I should have little to fear. I would hear what this woman has to say.
Surely this is some trick of my mind. I did not expect to see you again.
Grand Inquisitor Theosix Arcanon has dispatched me here to spy on you. Are things as desperate as that over there? I'd never have known. I hope your next assignment is more stimulating. Listening to my lectures is dull work for a spy. It is special to have an old pupil return to me. I must have done something right, even after having taught so much that was wrong. Whatever your reasons, I've missed you over all these years. Having you here now at a time when I'm surrounded by strangers is a wonderful gift. I would like for you to stay here in our camp as my guest.
My lady Irvara, I beg of you. This is an Inquisitor. This is a desperate attempt on your life. The only way it can succeed is if you allow it to.
This is a missionary, same as I was, taught the wrong things as I was. If I can't have faith in one woman's ability to reason once she knows the truth, what hope do we have?
My lady, she admits being a spy.
That should make her less of a threat, wouldn't you agree? I have nothing to hide. All I see here is an opportunity to persuade someone who could help us. We have many former missionaries here. They are our most loyal, our most helpful. Many have died for us. These are not people we should be turning away. And if the Inquisition wants my life, they can have it. But they know as well as I do that my cause will not die with me. Come, we have much to talk about.
It's unclear whether that's true or not. Whether her cause did die with her or not. Ooh, look at all these plants. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go enchant some stuff. I'll meet you guys at Sun and Shadow. Or Burial Isle, at least. Probably not Sun and Shadow. That place is gonna take some getting to. And then this person showed up in my citadel. This is harder to say than I thought it'd be. My name is Odenia. I fought in the Saints' War, same as most of my kin. I followed orders, no more, but between one thing and another, I guess I made a reputation for myself. They call me a hero. Every street I walk down, I get handshakes and comments. The dozens, they act like I'm some figurehead for their schemes. The things I've done, I don't get much sleep. The last thing I need is all this attention. All I want is some peace, please. You're the only one I could turn to. Perhaps one of my companions here can help you. Adair's been through the war. I'm sure he has some advice. I can't say I've got so much experience being overappreciated by people, but there might be something we can talk about. Yes, that. I think this will help. Thank you, lady. You don't know what this means to me. General goods merchant.
Gods keep you.
Oh, he's got trash. Hey man, sometimes trash is useful. Oh. Alright. Well, looks like I'm gonna have to leave Ed there behind when I go into Sudden Shadow. I'm sure everything will be fine. Alright, we are on Burial Isle. We are ready to get shit done. My party is arraigned, and my enchantments are pretty good.
Do you remember when we were children, and the missionaries came to tell us about the gods? They told us we could see them in the stars. I remember when I heard that, I snuck out at night and climbed the watchtower in the old fort because I wanted to see them better. That fort burned down a few years ago when we cast the missionaries out. It was the missionaries who set fire to it. They didn't want us to be able to use it. Shame. There was history in that fort.
They'll do a lot worse if they ever get back. Those missionaries are all inquisitors now. Strange to think they're the same people underneath, but I suppose you would know. This is your home as much as mine. Do you worry about it? I worry about you. You should be more worried about yourself. Half the guards still plot your death in the night.
I miscalculated many things since this began. I'm relieved you weren't one of them. It's a good thing we didn't hang you. I always knew this path would have consequences, but I never wanted to see Kraven suffer on my behalf. I don't think I can stay here any longer. I am told the Inquisition is gathering an army, that they have sent messengers to bargain with rulers from distant lands. Kraven is not built to withstand a siege. If war is coming, I should be doing what Theos is doing. I will need allies. Allies in a stronghold that can resist an invading army.
Have you thought about Oceanus?
Oceanus. They have held off many would-be invaders, and their king has no love of the Inquisition's faith. I wonder, would he listen?
Am I absorbing soul goop? We got some goop. There appears to be some unidentifiable soul goop. Ah! Oh, that's a doorway. I got everybody new armor and new equipment. Huh. Oh, okay. So, we could have avoided all of the battles and all of the places. I'm about to say, you better be paralyzed.
Thoughts were done.
Moe Ixiana. Moe Ixiana.
Let's say, I think that weird spiral thingy is bad, and it's trying to kill us. Oh, that may have been the only way up. No, you just have to go a long way around. Oop, soul goop. Is there more soul goop? Can I get the goop? I got the goop. There are just diamonds just chilling. I could have used those. Enchanting ain't cheap, as I learned.
Another turn, Inquisitor. I ask again, Jovara Ixensios, do you confess to these heresies of which you stand accused? Do you confess to apostasy?
I confess to renouncing a mistake.
Do you confess to conspiracy against the one true faith?
I confess to opening minds.
Do you confess to false prophecy?
I confess to following a false prophet.
Damn, she's ice cold.
Indeed. And where might we find this heretic?
He wears the robes of a Grand Inquisitor.
You have no followers here, heretic. Your lies hold no sway in the court of the penitents.
Only my truth, then.
Another turn.
No! Wait! Wait! I'm ready. I'm ready.
You are ready to give a confession?
I'm ready to hear one from you.
God damn. Alright. 5 pants say we land on the jagged bones of the last group dumb enough to jump. Alright, and then we jump in. The souls catch you, encasing you in a shining, thrumming aura. But while they slow your descent, you can feel they are falling faster than you should. The essence flowing around you is strong but chaotic. You find yourself drifting toward the wall. Oh! I have neither the athletics nor the resolve to accomplish this. I'll brace myself. Jeez, I'm going in all fucked up. I'm all jacked up over here. As it turns out, a lot of the...
What seems like an eternity, your rapid descent comes to an abrupt end. You remain still for a moment while your heart settles and your eyes adjust, breathing in stale, forgotten air. Before you, a narrow and eroded walkway becomes faintly visible in the dim light, cutting a winding path through a cavern so expansive it seems a world unto itself. In the distance, you can make out the cold gleam of living Adra veins that spike and fork in and out of view from the murky depths beneath. Their glow a faint and fleeting guide along the ancient trail. You look above at the opening you jumped through, now barely a speck of light like some distant star alone in the cosmos and forever out of reach. Your only way lies ahead.
Oh yeah, in case that wasn't obvious.
That went better than I expected.
I think that statue of Woodica was watching us soil ourselves on the way down.
This place is cursed.
You're not wrong. But, yeah. That's a point of no return. Once you hop down, you can't go back up. Got it. Traps. What's up, Melvin? So, right, yes. Apparently, a lot of the side quests only progress when you rest with people in your party. So, big oops there. Oh, and Anima.
I'm ready.
Like, there are a lot of things that are not happening and will not happen.
Your will.
Because I didn't rest enough. The game said I would have bad dreams. I didn't want to take a nap. What if sleeping made things worse? You never know. The Soul Adra prison. Yeah, sure, that seems fine. Ah. Oh, it's an animat made of Adra. That seems fun. Large, imposing, dangerous. What could possibly go wrong? Let's try changing it over to damage. He might not be automatically using his damaging abilities because he's only trying to do crowd control, but I gave him nothing but damaging abilities because I'm a big dum-dum. Burns with remembered suffering. That seems fine.
Interesting.
Ooh. Daybreak. Two-handed morning star. Oh, now I see the soul prison.
If secrets whisper here, I shall listen for them.
Okay. So it's trying to pull my soul out just a little bit. Just a little bit. All right, someone set it off.
Eyes open.
Get him.
I shall.
Yeah, I got all the spells. I got a couple of warriors. I'm feeling pretty good.
Nice and quiet.
Ooh.
Quiet.
Who is summoning this lightning? Oh, I can deal necrotic damage to animats. I would have imagined that I couldn't. Just a minute. There we go. Death by book.
Sorry, I don't call forth the Stelgar just to haul your garbage.
Oh. I don't call forth the Stelgar just to haul your garbage. That's beautiful. Boots of speed. Oh, you just move fast.
I'm ready.
Sick. I love immediately identifiable magical items.
Sight in dark places.
Ooh! Is that a healing thingy? Ooh, I think it's a healing thingy. I like that. I appreciate that.
I suppose it can't be helped. There you go.
An exceptional brigandine. Ooh, looking a little worse for wear, Yovara. A column of Adra rises above you, stoic and silent, its ridged layers a measuring stick for the passing of ages. It feels to you as thick a block of ice, and you perceive buried deep in its core a dim, flickering flame, all but extinguished, yet preserved against the ravages of the elements. At your approach, the flame seems to steady and draw breath, and the layers separating it from you melt away, and you're bathed in its glow, a bright beacon in the gloom. The glow seems to fade, as though you had adjusted to its intensity, and where it was, Yovara seeps into existence, an idyllic shade, hovering above the moist prison floor. Though ageless, she appears somehow different to you now, a slight stoop to her carriage, perhaps a trace of sunkenness in her eyes. There's a broad scar across her face, fibrous and wormy where flames once lapped, unhealed even in death.
My old pupil. You are a welcome sight, but a worrying one as well. Do you still wander lost in the darkness after all these many years? You are so different now from who you were then, yet much remains the same. Old troubles with a new face. What is it that has brought you here?
It would seem I have unfinished business.
I'd hoped after our last discussion you would find what you sought. Has it eluded you all this time? I can only guess your presence here has something to do with Theos. The energy of this place changes when he is near. I don't know what he has done, but I do know of the souls that pass through here now. They do not come by choice.
Theos diverted them from the cycle. He seeks to empower Woodica and to blame Animancy for the damage he himself has caused.
After all this time, he would still stand against the tide.
You knew me when Theos did. There's something I need to know about that time.
I will tell you what I remember.
There's something about that lifetime my soul can't let go of. I need to know what it is, and I'm running out of time. I see moments from that life, of you, of the Inquisition, of Theos.
I can see his influence, still hanging like a weight about your neck. So it always was. He had inspired something in you. We spoke of him the last time you were here also. It was just after the trial. You were agitated. I think because you started to consider that what I was teaching may have been true.
What were you teaching? Yavara's mouth tightens and her brow furrows, a look of pity. Her eyes shift back and forth between each of yours, as if looking for something that would help her decide whether to speak.
That the gods aren't real.
Of course not! It all makes sense now!
I dreaded the idea from the moment the Delimgon suggested it. And yet, it almost feels like a relief.
Perhaps not to her. Many are those whom the gods have scorned. This is petty retribution.
Nonsense! Clearly she has not been on the receiving end of a god's ire. She'd know how real the gods can be.
What I taught was that the gods whose faith we had been spreading were not gods at all, but something else entirely. Something created by people.
And so we imagined these archetypes into being. How did you discover this?
The Nguithan missionaries all knew it, but they never told the rest of us. They meant it to be a secret that died with them. And in the end, they allowed their bloodlines to fade from memory. I had been assigned to join a few of them at a temple. I found the door to their chambers closed, but the room was stone and the door thin. Their voices carried. I heard enough. I investigated the things they spoke of, and everything was there, just as they said it be.
Later on, after I left the Order, a few Nguithans found my words persuasive and joined my cause. They revealed what I did not already know. So, the Nguithans did a social engineering campaign to create the gods? Well, who created them? For what?
They were conceived by Engwith, a society of high minds and broad concerns. Theos' people.
Oh no!
Every people worshipped its own gods. Sometimes they warred over it. After a few wars of their own, the Nguithans sought an end to it. They devoted all their energy to finding the true creators.
And ended up inventing a few?
Generation after generation, they prodded and worked the stitching of the world and unlocked its secrets. One day, they found an answer. Except the answer was no answer at all. There were no gods to be found. Or if there ever were, they were gone. It shook them, this finding. If they could discover this on their own, how long until others would? How long before war and chaos reigned over a world without consequence? But they had mastered many things in their pursuit of these answers. And with their mastery, they crafted their own gods to fill the void, and sent missionaries to the corners of the world to spread their faith.
And so, because Theos is the chosen of Woodica, he has more investment in all of this going well than anyone else. If this faith in the gods fades and the gods themselves disappear, he's fucked. So this is why you started your own faith.
I never thought of it as fate, but I think you are right to call it that. Let the world see. Let them decide what to do. That was my faith. I became a missionary because the gods brought me hope that I wanted to bring to others. For a time, the truth sent me to a dark place. Then the day came when I realized nothing had changed, that I still had a purpose, and the purpose was the same and it was worth living for. I began questioning the other missionaries in public, exposing their parlor tricks. In time, their following became mine.
But is it true, what you taught?
You asked me this once before. Nothing I can say would be any proof, and it may be certainty your soul craves. Resolution. But if you are bound for the same place Theos directs these souls, you will see for yourself, as you once did. Everyone faces this truth at one time or another. Few confront it. Few have the stomach to ask what if. And in avoiding the question, they deny themselves an identity of their own. What if it were forbidden knowledge rather than fault that earned your doom? What of your guilt?
I have seen with my own eyes the deceptions of my goddess. The Watcher has shown me as much. But it was not until now that I understood how truly desperate she was. The depths of her deception.
You speak of her deceptions, but what of your own? Was it her words that led you down your path? Or was it the absence of her words? A gap that you filled with your own broken thoughts?
Oh boy.
What if you had always been alone, without guidance?
Well, as poorly as I've chosen my guides, I suppose it would be a comfort to know that I'm free of them.
The freedom has always been. It was the guidance that was the illusion. What if neither guide knew the way? How then would you choose a course?
Wal teaches us that the gods cannot give you lasting wisdom. They can only inspire you to find wisdom in your own time.
What if even mastery over all things cannot answer the most basic of questions?
So as a servant of Wheel, yeah, Wheel sort of has... Wheel's theology undoes the gods entirely. As such, Haravius is willing to accept this. Like, well, I mean, that's just what Whale says. This is just another version of Whale's teachings.
I stopped asking those questions long ago. It is enough to care for those we love with the time we have in this life.
What if the cycle of birth and death is nothing more than a tool of endless preoccupation?
Oh. What if we can be assured of nothing? Then the only value is in the things that we create ourselves.
Verus. We find purpose in ourselves and in the people in our lives.
And in the lives we create, is this not the essence of motherhood? To create, cherish, nurture, to give of yourself for the sake of another.
There is bliss to be found in the things we create, but sorrow as well. Every creation bears the imperfections of its creator, and its creator's creator. Art and song are creations, but so are weapons and lies. We must be careful that our creations do not consume us. I ask these things not to trouble you, but to show why they must be confronted. No answer is simple, but somewhere between them all lies a truth so beautiful, not even a god could conceive it. Do we not owe ourselves a chance to find our part in it?
No, people need to know that things happen for a reason. A fabricated reason is better than none at all. We do, even without assurance. There's still truth in places.
If that is truly what you believe, then you are a far different person than the one I knew. I've been alone here with my thoughts for so long now. I've found peace with my failures and with my punishment. I no longer curse fate for what might have been. But there is one thing that has clawed and scraped at my mind all these years. One thing that will not be put to rest until I know. Until I understand. I need to know why you chose to remain with the Inquisition, even after you'd learned the truth. Do you remember?
Sorry, there are no assurances. Your teachings were a threat to all I believed in. I don't think I had a reason. I just did it. Just following orders.
All these years thinking about it, I don't think I ever imagined you did it without cause. This changes things. Good. The things I taught, the things I believed, I needed to hear that. I needed to know it wasn't because...
Because I doubted you? I needed to know it wasn't because after everything you'd learned, you'd still rather believe in a lie. If that is the conclusion people reach once they know everything, then everything I did was worthless. Did my opinion really matter so much to you?
You were a blank slate to me once. A blank slate that I had taught the wrong things. I'd given you a false faith. I had to know I could undo what I had done. Redirect you to embrace the truth. You had heard both sides, seen everything. If not you, then who?
You're not going to be able to convince everyone of anything. True or not, there will always be dissent.
I expected dissent. But I needed to know that true faith would prevail.
Ah.
Perhaps I've been wrong to place so much importance on one person's actions. It was all I could do to feel like there was an answer. Even knowing what you've told me, some part of me knows it doesn't truly answer what I wish to know. Nor will an eternity of silent contemplation. I will have only my guesses and suspicions, and that will have to do. And what of your understanding of our past? Are you at ease with the choice you made?
It wasn't me who made that choice. I bear no responsibility for it.
At first I thought this might be the source of your soul's anguish. But now I see I was mistaken. You are not divided on this matter. You have put it behind you. It is with Theos that your agony lies, in sun and shadow. Your questions are not for me, but for him. And it may be that only an answer from the mouth of Theos himself will satisfy your needs. Yet if there is anything I can tell you that would be of use, ask and you shall know.
Alright, we will continue this conversation next time on Pillars of Eternity.